Right, so today's video is all about the COOSPO CS600. Now, I got given this for free and I've been using it for a week or two. Now, I've had a lot of experience with head units. I've had the Garmin, I've had the OG Brighton that was not good. The Wahoo's, been through them all. And so this review is going to be all about the COOSPO. Here it is. It's a pretty attractive looking unit. So we're going to go through the good parts first, then the not so good parts, and then the conclusion of should you buy it or not. So obviously the first thing is mega cheap. It's 90 quid on Amazon, bananas, good deal. It has a touchscreen, which is pretty good. So yeah, that's pretty useful. I'd say for 90 quid having a touchscreen, big win. The Garmin's that have touchscreens, very expensive. The 800 series, 1000 series, very expensive. The Wahoo's, I don't think they cracked touchscreen yet. So that is all good. Does it actually work? Yeah. No worries. Works as a like a basic, if you just need a basic thing to record stuff, perfect, no issues. Uploads to Strava and Training Peaks. Assume there'll be more app integrations on the way, but at the moment, Strava and Training Peaks, that's all I need. As soon as you get back, it actually uploads, unlike the Wahoo, so that's pretty good. So thumbs up for the COOSPO. It has workout mode. That's pretty useful as well. It seems to be fine. It's nothing new. It's all good, basically. Pretty basic stuff. They've nailed most of it. Battery life, pretty good. I reckon about 10 hours, roughly 10-15 hours. So, it's not full crazy Coros Duro spec, but it's good enough, is my main kind of conclusion. The GPS is good as well. Sometimes on maybe the cheap units, the GPS isn't too good. Seems pretty fine. Haven't had many spikes or anything, so that's pretty good. Other thing, it has the Garmin mount on the back, so it fits with a Garmin, so that's pretty easy. Obviously, you've got a Garmin, then it already works, so that's pretty useful. In terms of everything else, like the user interface, I'd say it's most similar to Garmin in terms of like it can go forward and back. That's pretty good. Well, I haven't cracked that yet. In terms of like how it looks, just in like the general setup, it is pretty Garmin-esque. The fields as well, they've got like the power charts and things like that. It's very similar to a Garmin more than a Wahoo would be my conclusion. Also, just the whole layout of it is pretty similar to a Garmin as well. So yeah, it's pretty good. In terms of the stuff that maybe could be a deal breaker for you, if you're super into it. So number one is there's no climb pro feature. It doesn't really tell you like if you're on a ride what the climb's coming up to be, how steep it is, etc. So that is, I'd say, a pretty big negative if you're going to race, in my opinion, because that's a very useful feature. If you're just riding around your own lanes, no worries. We got to go through the navigation. Now the navigation, it works for sure. You can get a route on there, but it's not that easy to get a route on. It doesn't integrate with Strava. I believe that is coming, but at the moment you have to like send yourself a TCX file or a GPX file, whatever kind of file you're using. You have to get it on your phone. Then once it's on your phone, you then click import. It's fine. It adds maybe 2 to 5 minutes onto getting a route up. That is something that is a bit annoying. There's no two ways about it. It's not perfect, but I do think it's not a massive issue for most people, because how often do you use a route? But it's just something to bear in mind. Routes are a bit annoying, but it is what it is. The next thing we've got to talk about is navigation. Now, there's a couple weird points about the navigation. Number one, it's got the blue triangle, but the blue triangle doesn't really face the way you think it's going to face. I don't quite know why the biggest end of the triangle is not actually where you're going, so that's a bit confusing. And as far as I was aware, I couldn't also get it to track so that it followed you. It would just constantly point north. I may have been doing something wrong, but I'm pretty sure I wasn't. That wasn't great. The other good thing it does is it does have turn-by-turn routes, so like directions. So if you're on just a different page, you're just looking at your power or something else, it will say turn right, 100 meters to go. Again, I don't think it's not great. Like, it's not on every turn, and sometimes it says to turn left when the road doesn't. Judging, I'd say it's more similar to Wahoo on the maps. The Wahoo maps, not great. The Garmin maps are the best I've done by far. They're really detailed, like points on like where to go. So it's not quite as good as that, but it is 90 quid. So you do have to remember that. And I think that comes to the conclusion. It's like, if you're comparing it to my Garmin Edge 540 or the Wahoo Element Bolt I had before, they're premium products. They're pretty expensive, 200-300 quid. But for 90 quid, I actually think it's a no-brainer. I now just alternate between the two, whichever has got more battery, the Garmin, the COOSPO. But like, honestly, I think it's really good. It just does everything you want. The touchscreen I really like. Even in the rain, I think is really good, actually. Obviously has buttons as well. In terms of like calibrations, power meters, stuff, it connects to all the things you need to do. Like, it just works, and I think that's the biggest thing, is like, it's 90 quid and it works and it's touchscreen. So in my head, it's a no-brainer. I think, okay, there's a little bit of teething issues. There's probably some stuff like, if you want Garmin IQ integration with a time web, that's not going to work. But if you just want basic stuff, records the map, it records all your data, shows you where you're going. I just think it's really, really good. So yeah, I think overall, like, if you're looking for a cheap head unit as like a spare backup, it's really good. Or if you don't need any too complicated features, then again, really, really good. And yeah, it's just like the user interface, as I said, is pretty simple, very similar to a Garmin. So if you're familiar with that, then it shouldn't be too different at all. And I think it's quite good. They haven't tried to rock the boat and do anything too crazy. They're just like, Garmin works. Let's just try copy that. Make sure it's not like complete copy, but it's pretty close. So yeah, it's pretty easy for the head to remember. And yeah, otherwise, I think 10 out of 10 would recommend, considering the price. So cheers for watching. Hope you enjoy. I'll see you in the next one.